I think about other youth people taking drugs. I think that it's like their life and they should have the choice to do what they want with it, but also they should take precaution about what drugs they take and how much they take of it and how addicted they should get.
Because they're bored. They don't know what else to do, so they resort to drugs to entertain themselves.
I think they just do it to act cool.
And peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure.
I know someone who was involved in drugs and alcohol. He's not like that anymore now. He now works in a electric shop for electricians that need help. So he changed his whole life around. His friends still do it, but he's trying to stop them now.
It could lead to obsessions, which because you're obsessed, you want more of these things, and could lead to stealing from family and friends to get money to buy drugs and alcohol and stuff like that.
It can ruin their lives because they're not concentrating properly on what they're doing. They're mentally unable to do things.
I do know a couple of people who have been taking drugs and alcohol, and yeah, during classes their nose starts to bleed, or they get really unfit because they drink too much alcohol. So it's got quite a negative effect on their lifestyle, but it's their choice.
Peer pressure would be one of the big things, because you want to be with your friends and not left out like that. And TV advertises alcohol and drugs a lot. TV shows like Skins and stuff like that have a lot of it, which makes it look cooler. So people want to do it too.
Or their family will be thinking, how did I bring them up? Did I drag them? And they were just thinking they're bad parents. Lots of people wouldn't like to speak to those parents anymore, thinking they were bad. And it would just be bad influence on the parents and the family.
I knew someone who actually started taking alcohol and drugs around beginning of teens, and because of that they got kicked out of their old school because people found out, and they started doing other things related to it. And yeah, because they had to be kicked out of school, they had to get sent to another one with a completely different system, and they were through their SATs and GCSEs, which meant bad grades and things like that.
The message I would give to stop people getting into drugs and alcohol is to think about what you're doing.
The message I'd give to people getting involved in drugs and alcohol is to take caution to how much you take and just don't get addicted.
In school they teach us about drugs, but sometimes people don't want to listen to that. So you could have outside school things things like health centres that teach you about it, and fun activities, instead of just sitting in class being bored.
Let's face it, alcohol has a bad effect on your physical health.
Let's face it, drugs and alcohol have different effects on other people, not just you.
Let's face it, family and friends are much more important than taking drugs and alcohol.
Let's face it, drugs and alcohol affect the people around you as well.
Let's face it, drugs are bad for your health.
Let's face it, how can drugs help you when you're young or old? Can't help you anytime.
The work that we do basically is we're carrying out a drug awareness program all through the borough of Hackney, and we're just here to raise awareness among substance misuse amongst the young people, and we're looking at ages around between 11 to 19 basically, and we carry that out in schools, colleges, academies, youth centres, anywhere that we needed really.
Some of the issues that I come across in my role as a substance misuse worker, I tend to engage with young people that may have issues around tobacco, alcohol, or cannabis, and it's a minority of young people that we tend to come across. But as substance misuse workers, we see a lot of young people that is using a drug. It tends to look a lot bigger than what it really is. So some of the issues around tobacco, alcohol and cannabis are present in who we work with.
Definitely it will have an impact, because it will have an impact where it will affect their schooling. Certain job does affect your mental state and your ability to focus. I'm not too sure, obviously it's going to be individual cases, because some young persons is potentially capable of using drugs and probably still able to progress in school. And then a young person may do that and they may not be able to carry on the same way. And also it depends how much their parents are involved in their life and if they're aware of what the young person is actually doing. Because some young person may be able to actually keep using drugs and the parents may not be aware of it at all.
Generally, it starts through the adolescent stage. So young people around about year 9, 12, 13 tend to go through like a kind of a change anyway in who they are, where they are, and using a substance like alcohol or cannabis tends to play with them that emotion. So sometimes, you know, a drug could become a young person's best friend and lead them down the wrong path, and that could have consequences on, you know, how they engage with their families, their siblings, their peers, what peers they hang around with, and general respect in terms of their community and their family life.
I think it's more for them to have more awareness of what they are using. They may hear, for example, it may sound like the latest thing to try, or it may be the trendy word or the latest buzz. They heard in the playground to try something like cheese, or they got these fancy names, but they have to be aware of the dangers that it comes with the drug use. Because, for example, one young person may try the drug and it may have little impact on them or none, and then another young person may try the drug and then it may have significant impact on their health. So they need to have more awareness of what they're using. You can't tell a young person don't use this, don't do this, because they are going to do it. I think they need to have more awareness, and hopefully we can help bring that by going into the schools and various venues for Hackney.
Got a lot of passion for the work they do, and it's all about us relating to those young people and those young people relating to us and wanting to go through any issues that they may have. You know, whether it's cannabis, alcohol or tobacco. And there are small pockets of Class A drugs as well.
You know, to think that you can only try certain drugs, whether it's a Class A or B drug, and it could have an impact where it could actually cost your life there. So they need to be aware of that when they are trying something. You know, that one time may be the only time.
If a young person has any issues, drugs misuse, and all they can do is need to contact us at the youth support team. Any information they divulge will be handled very sensitively.